Oppa Gundam style, everybody. Welcome to Wow Cool Robot. It's a podcast about Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm Max, and I use he, him pronouns. And with me, as always, is...
It's me, it's Kali. I use she, they pronouns.
We finished Unicorn.
I'm shaking and crying right now.
Everything was fine. It turned out okay. Don't worry about what happens to literally everything else in the Universal Century in the future. It's fine.
This is the end of it. This is the good ending.
We saved the day. Liberalism succeeds. The Declaration of Independence said everything's good now, and the space noids are important, and that's surely the end of every problem the Gundam
Surely
universe
there's not going to be any other issues in this universe whatsoever.
Surely the son of, like, a decorated one-year war hero isn't going to become a terrorist or anything like that.
Surely the son of a guy who's in this series who actively says the words, don't want to be a guy whose kids aren't ashamed of him, will not definitely 100% be ashamed of him, and do literal terrorisms.
You will be ashamed of your words and deeds, Bright Noah.
That's the worst part about Unicorn.
It's what's even
It's
funny,
also the best part about Unicorn, though.
Yeah. I mean, because for the podcast I watched Hathaway about a year ago, a little more than that. And that still holds true for, like, the timeline of Gundam media, because, like, I think the original thing of Unicorn was the novel for, like, 07. Hathaway was written in, like, the 90s, I think. So, like, from the beginning of when Unicorn was being written, like, the whole thing with the box was that, oh shit, nothing happened actually. And we'll get into the box, when that comes up in the show, but, like, I honestly really like it. I like that the entire core conceit of Unicorn is just like, oh, it didn't actually matter. Anyway, moving on.
Not whatsoever.
It rules. It fucking rules. Unicorn's good. Oh god, this is great. Okay. All right, Callie, we're gonna get into it because we got content. This is
an hour and a half long episode.
This is a jumbo episode.
It is a big old episode. It's the same length as narrative.
You can narrative Uzumaki. You can. People could be like, oh, you could just separate it into, like, the little 3-act structure like you do for the movie episodes. Whatever. I'm tired.
I don't want to do that.
I'm tired. I have a big fucker summary, and I'm going to read the whole thing, and then we're going to talk about the episode.
Let's do it in one. Come on, let's go. Let's get this. We get this. Come on, we
Mobile
got this.
Suit Gundam Unicorn Episode 7. Over the Rainbow. Alright, take a big deep breath. Martha, Alberto, and Ronan head to an EFF bunker in Cheyenne, Wyoming to oversee yet another war crime, the use of the Grips 2 colony laser to wipe out whichever party makes it to the box first in one last desperate attempt to erase the box from history. Merida, Sorties, and the Kshatriya to hold Riddy off so that Banagher can open a path with a nail Argama, which results in her death at Riddy's hands, who is unable to handle the cacophony of voices he hears as a new type. As she becomes one with the soup, she warns everyone in the area that they're being targeted. Banagher is stopped by Angelo, who is unable to contain Banagher's awakened new type abilities and seemingly kills himself in a trance. He and Maneva make it to Magalanica, where they once more enter the Vist mansion to meet with Siam Vist, Banagher's great-grandfather. He finally reveals what the box is, the true original Universal Century Charter, stating that any space-adapted human race has a right to be involved in government. He's been using this dark secret as a bargaining chip against the Federation government, but wants its existence to be up to true new types like Banagher and Maneva, not the likes of Full Frontal, who arrives to take the box by force, but is forced out of the colony, entering his Sinanju, which is now piloting a massive mobile armor, the Neo Zeong. Banagher and Riddy face off against the Psycho Machine, only for the Unicorn and Neo Zeong to fully resonate, causing them to be shown visions of the past and future. Full Frontal wants Banagher to understand that dark nothingness is all that awaits humanity, but Banagher chooses to believe in human possibility and is able to break Full Frontal's hold on him, causing the Cyber New Type to finally release his spirit, or whatever. Maneva begins her address to the entire Earth sphere, revealing what the box is and choosing to entrust its truth to all of humanity. Desperate to stop her, Ronan fires Grips, not realizing that Riddy is in its path, but both Riddy and Banagher are able to completely stop the beam, with the Unicorn crystallizing its Psycho Frame, causing Banagher to become an ascended new type. Maybe. The Federation, in one last desperate attempt to stop the event, sends an entire fleet of mobile suits to stop the broadcast, but Banagher uses the Unicorn to completely disable the suits in their tracks, silently flying back with Riddy to reunite with Anil Argama, the Garn Seer Team Equos, and Maneva. Boom!
How do you block a colony laser?
Rock candy. He fucking terrastalized.
He did. He terrestrialized. Oh my god! What's his new type? Oh!
Whoa, shit! I feel like a fucking car, like a bullet whizzed by my head just now. Holy fuck! I heard, Callie, I heard the new type flash in real life when you said that. Wow! That's a spicy meatball, holy shit!
Oh my god! Oh Christ!
Wow!
Oh, I didn't even mean to say that.
That was exhilarating! God! Fuck! Shit!
And he come down.
I mean... Psychic?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he fucking... You can't... Psychic's not immune to anything, but he used Protect.
It's immune to, colony lasers, apparently.
Yeah, that's probably normal type, but just Hyper Beam, so he just uses Protect.
Oh, then he's Ghost type, because everyone thought he died for a second, and he went
There we fucking go! He's like Rock and Ghost, the Rock being the big stinky psycho frame just bursting out of that unicorn. I like that you can buy a kit of this. It rules that you can buy a kit of this. Like, that must be a very strange build, because you can't, you certainly lose the transforming mechanism.
There's also rocks on it.
Yeah, I almost wonder though, like, I need to see like a YouTube video of someone building this thing, because like I have the Unicorn and the Banshee Master Grades. It has like a both high grade and a Master Grade version, and I think the Master Grade version was on P Bandai recently. So like you can have that transformation. So is it just that, and then like they like made it so that the rocks can like clip on to the psycho frame, or like is it a completely different mechanism? Basically, the thing I'm wondering is like, does it make that kit actually sturdy for once? Probably not, because those kits.
It's a unicorn kit. It cannot be sturdy. That is not how unicorn kits work.
Yeah, that's the fucking problem. It's like genuine. It's pretty good when you have it in unicorn form. And then when it goes NTD, its legs are twice as long, just kind of like dangle limply below the waist.
Yeah, you kind of need to have a stand for it, don't you?
Yeah, I'm impressed. I guess I bumped my shelf leaving my office yesterday, going to bed. And like, I thought I knocked a lot of things over. And the only thing that actually fell off my shelf was my gigantic arms unit that like was totally fine.
Tanky boy.
Yeah, a couple, like, the gun fell apart. But nothing like actually broke, and that was pretty impressive. That's that Titan's war crime technology in action. So this episode begins. We see like this fancy meeting, like the Anaheim people. It's Martha and Ricardo. Ricardo. No, Ricardo was the original Martinez. It's Martha, Ronan, and Alberto. They're all going to Cheyenne, Wyoming, to this like big ass bunker. To activate the war crime tube once more. Remember Zeta? It's back.
They kept it.
Like,
Why'd they keep it?
It makes sense. It's like, not only did they keep it, but like, they upgraded it. I don't remember it having that gigantic array of solar panels from Zeta, do you? Did it have those back then?
No, it's almost like they mixed it up with the,
Giran's solar beam.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, because, like, yeah, you need those solar panels, because, like, the solar panels are aimed at the sun, so it's just, like, constantly sucking up energy from the sun.
There's a lot of weapons that don't really make sense. There's a big one, we'll get to it, that kind of frustrated me. Just one thing with it. I think that fight at the end of the episode kind of ruled, but at the same time, it was like, not to jump too far ahead, why did it have a ring that explodes all of your weapons?
They should have called it a Psycho Shart generator.
Is that what it was? Was it a Psycho Shart generator? Okay.
It's called a Psycho Shard generator, and apparently it's just the power of wishes. We'll get into it. It's bad.
What?
But before new types happen, they go to this bunker. We see a big-ass Gustav Karl chilling in, like, the trees guarding the bunker, and the pilot just, like, has a gigantic shopping bag full of, like, candy bars and snacks. He's chilling. This guy rules. He's my favorite character in this episode.
He's just chilling. And then
he just wants to bite. He gets owned way of rules. So, Martha gets briefed there by, like, the troops that they're tracking the Rulula, and the Nail Argama as they go to Magalonica, and like Grips is just aimed at Magalonica, ready to fire at whoever makes it there first.
Yeah.
And Ronan's like, whatever. He doesn't want to shoot him like immediately. He's like, well, let's just wait to see what they do with the box first. But like, he knows he's going to end up firing it, and he knows that like, when we do, we're going to destroy the old box and create a new box because we're doing something that like equally damns the Earth Federation.
Yeah.
By sweeping all this under the rug in a horrifically violent fashion.
I'm just gonna blast it all up.
Oh, it's bad. And Bright hears about this from Kai, and Bright decides to actually like do something good for once, and he's gonna like take the Rakai Loom down, and like, I guess it's really funny. Like, I'm getting ahead of myself again. That Bright sends the Tri-Stars to like take out the mobile suits, but like once he's actually inside there, he just like gives them a stern talking to and says, "Hey, please don't." But doesn't actually like use any kind of force, unlike the mobile suits who like stomp a Zeta Plus out of the air.
Yeah, they stomp a Zeta Plus out of the air. They like hold up like a beam saber to like the Tri-Stars jump in.
Yeah.
And start doing cool stuff because of the Tri-Stars, and they're always gonna. God, I love these three, and I don't know why. I love them so much, they rule.
I really didn't like them at first because I thought they were just aping, the Black Tri-Stars whole deal of three cool guys, but then I realized the Tri-Stars, they've
three cooler guys.
They've fully taken up the mantle of the Black Tri-Stars. They're three cool guys.
They've inherited their new type spirits.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's like one for all.
Oh god, did you hear about that?
Well, I've watched, I want to say I stopped watching after the All Might All for One fight.
I got to like the start of the most recent arc, and I realized that I really cannot stand Horikoshi's writing style.
Yeah.
And the most recent events have cemented that fact. Do you mind if I quickly say something about it?
I hope he's dead for real is all I'll say.
No, he's not.
Stupid.
He was dead for all of one chapter, dude.
Yeah, I never liked Bakugo, but like, commit to it. Goddamn.
It's like they could have done it in cooler ways too. No, they just have two guys doing like open heart surgery in the middle of a battlefield. Like,
outstanding.
Incredible. And like some jobber who shows up in the series sometimes is like, "Oh, I'll sacrifice myself to become his heartbeat." And it's like, I don't even know who this guy is. His name's Edge Shot, apparently. What is your quirk? Oh, he can flatten his body to pass through extremely tight spaces. That's his power.
His quirk is Paper Mario.
How could he turn into a heart?
He folds.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to think
about it. One Piece is very good.
Yeah. Did you read the latest one?
Yeah, I did.
I like that Sanji's not even next to Zoro anymore. Jinbei just fucking muscles in. It rules.
Well, that's what happens when you've got a former like Shichibukai and the
I know.
Team, though. Let's be real about that.
God, I love Buggy. He's the Buggy the Clown is the Jared of One Piece.
Yeah.
He just fails upwards.
That's all he does, and now he's failed himself upwards into a spot of I am now being exploited by two warlords of the sea.
And his army of stands got him into this mess.
Yeah, literally, it's so good.
The Unicorn's also good. We should talk about that.
Oh yeah, we should talk about the podcast.
We get a really cool fight scene.
We do.
It's just like me, once again, I have my big checklist of robots and I'm checking off all the ones I see. We see a Baowu. It does go Nutter mode, which is quite fun.
It does. It still messes me up that it's called Nutter mode.
The Baowu attacker and the Baowu Nutter. That's the two parts of the body. We do see a Yag Doga, which is fun too.
Yeah.
It's
I was like, funnels, and then I went in the Jag Doga, and I was like, whoa.
Right, yeah, no, I saw those funnels. I knew they had to be the Yag Doga funnels because, like, the only other suit that had those kinds of funnels was the Sazabi, and like, they didn't make too many of those. They didn't make too many.
And then it blew up.
And then it gets his ass kicked. This does the same thing that we saw in the Battle of Torrington, where there's one suit that's just kicking an unreal amount of ass, and this is like the Jim Sniper piloted by like the Ekoa second in command guy. Because oh my god, he is like he went sicko mode on these guys.
He really did. It was so good.
He like takes on a fucking Gallus J and a Zissa by himself. Kicks ass.
Yeah.
We also see a Mega Bazooka, which is fun.
We do see a Mega Bazooka.
Big blue gun.
I'm so glad that it was there.
Yeah, it's just a fun, like, you don't even need to have it be a callback to a mobile suit. Have it be a callback to a weapon that everyone knows.
Everyone knows the Mega Bazooka.
Mega Bazooka. Mega Bazooka. So, the boys are fighting, unfortunately.
They are.
It's not going great. Banagher, what are we calling him this week?
I don't know. What did we say we'd call him last week?
Oh, we said we'd call him Zimbabwe this week.
Yeah, Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe's mobile suit, the unicorn, is full armored for all of 10 minutes. And then it just lets go of them. And it's just like, well, what was the point?
What was the point?
What was the point?
The point, Callie, is to sell toys.
He used precisely 3 of the guns and then shot off one of his big fuel tanks to something, and then used the other one to go home.
Yeah, it's good. It's funny. He's fighting Riddy. Riddy's just like throwing a fit, and he kind of like comes to the conclusion that the problem isn't the fact that the Earth Federation is exploiting and trying to stamp out new types and space noids. The problem is the existence of new types in the first place. I'm like, buddy, you've skipped so many steps coming to this conclusion.
My guy.
Oofa doofa.
Why are you...
Why? Why are you, Riddy?
That's you. That's you. We get it. You hate yourself. Why do you need to hate all of yourself, though?
Yeah.
I don't... Mr. Marcinus, you need to stop, please.
For everyone's sake, they're having a tussle, and like Angelo shows up at this point with his suits. At one point, he calls Full Frontal the king of the dispossessed, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was weird.
Why you're throwing more titles at him, my guy.
That one made a little bit of sense to me, considering that feels like the only time someone other than Full Frontal acknowledges that Full Frontal is like supposed to be a vessel for collective humanity. Like Angelo calling him King of the Dispossessed is like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because he would think of him that way, because he's like, oh, I love you so much, you're the vessel of humanity, not Shar. But it's funny that like he calls him that exactly once, and like, yeah, that's it. It's just a cute little title. And then as things are getting worse, Merida gets in the Kashat tree and gets ready to launch, and like Liam, or she like asks for permission to launch first, and Liam's like, hey, Otto, can you stop her from doing this, please? And Otto like just has a little think about it, which is when
Zinnemann drops in and just goes like, you know what? She's earned her independence. If she wants to do it, then she's allowed to do it. And it's like, you could tell he's like broken up inside about it.
Yeah, it's
this entire situation really just sucks for him so much, and it makes me so sad. I think I don't want to be that person who was like, oh, the most tragic character in Unicorn, but I think Zinnemann is he does have the kind of saddest story that's still.
Oh, he does, yeah.
Nicely.
Like, because Merida's existence is sad, but like she just gets some very cool moments. Zinnemann really doesn't ever get a W. Like, he just gets his ass kicked constantly, and like he has to be a mentor to all these characters while everything's just falling apart around him.
Yeah, and it's like the only kind of like win he does get is near the end. Merida does view him as a father, which is exactly what he needed and he wanted, and then he loses her. Like, he lost the rest of the people that he loved, and it's only really his crew that he has, because his ship is gone, his daughter's gone, both of his daughters are gone, his wife is gone. Like, not even his entire crew is, like, still there anymore as well.
Yeah, and he has, like, 2 guys left. It
yeah.
Sucks. God, poor Zinnemann. He's maybe, like, top 3 unicorn characters for me. I love him. He's
so well written.
So, yeah, Zinnemann lets her go. Riddy continues to be annoying, and he's talking about how he's fine if he ends up dying trying to just defeat new types. And he tells Zimbabwe the only reasonable thing he says for a long time, where he's like, if both the Vis and the Marcenas disappear, they can keep the future safe. And like, that's almost true. That
but it's
almost
kind of
makes
not at the
sense.
same time, because, like, at the end of the day, yes, these family lines will be gone, but the kind of ramifications of everyone's actions and the kind of systems that they've put in place, the everything like that, you can't undo the damage a family has done by killing members of the family. You have to if because, like, we learned Siam Vist was probably not a very nice guy. Because he
Certainly not.
did do a bit of blackmail. You kind of need to undo those systems that allow those pathways in the first place if you want to actually make any reasonable change that what is more or less a crime family has done.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just kill the youngest member of it. That's not how it works.
Right. It's a very Gundam thing for...
Yeah.
The solution is just kill everyone involved and it should be fine, right? It's like, well...
It's very much a very... I think... Although Full Frontal is very much the Shah clone because he's literally a clone of Shah.
Yeah.
I think Riddy does take on a lot of first Gundam Shah's like ideas and how to deal with systems and stuff. Albeit they are very much crossed up with Gyune. It's very much you get the case of it's like he's inherited the ideas of the people who came before him. In terms of emotionally instead of idealistically, right. And it's like he does embody that like rival kind of spirit of Shah being a kind of rebellious ending bloodlines type person. I don't really know who the rival was other than like fucking I don't want to think about Paptimus Sirocco, but like he doesn't really embody any of him. There wasn't really one in Zeta, so after that it's kind of Gyune.
Well,
it very much feels like Gyune.
Right, in some bad ways. I mean, for
in
Zeta,
all of the bad ways, I do not like Gyune. He's the one. He's the one cyber new type I do not claim.
Yeah,
and really doesn't count.
No, yeah, it would have been Jared and Zeta because Jared was the main rival to Camille, but
he's a shitty fail son.
Yeah, Jared's whole thing was like. He just kind of got one-upped by Camille in every engagement they had. It was like...
Yeah.
It was a deep rivalry, but it wasn't, like, ideologically deep. Like, it was more of just, like, these guys hate each other's guts so fucking much. But... Yeah, I don't know. Like, Riddy is... As much as I hate to admit it, Riddy is, like, one of the most important characters in Unicorn because of all of this.
He's very well written as well. And
yeah, like... I hate him, but I recognize... Yeah, I recognize that I hate him because he's well written. Yeah. In addition to the fact that he's also into Minerva. Like, yeah, I have several reasons to hate his ass.
Yeah.
Too bad he didn't die at the end. Oh well.
Too bad indeed.
So they're starting. The boys are starting to resonate. I really like the shorthand of like suits resonating, like Psychotherm resonating in Unicorn. How it like. Just changes the color of the suits, like the aura like surrounds them, and like the Banshee goes all yellow and the Unicorn goes all red or green. It's a very cool. Super Saiyan. It's a really cool effect. I like that a lot. Zimbabwe tells Riddy that it's like you hate new types.
I forgot we were calling him that for a second. Fuck.
Yeah, he's like, buddy, you're controlling the Banshee. You're glowing yellow. You're also a new type, and he just tells Riddy to listen to the voices inside him. Which wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, pretty bad idea, all things considered.
This is when Merida rolls up to like she like tells Zimbabwe, "Hey, get the fuck out of here! Do your job. I'm going to do mine." and she starts fighting Riddy. This is when we see this is when we see that Echo S guy kick the ass of the Gallus J and the Zissa on the Nail Argama. This is when Zimbabwe he shoots off one of his like afterburner pods and like just bonks the Gallus J and like knocks it off of the entire Nail Argama.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking funny. And he goes back to refuel. We do see a Zaku 3 as well, which is cool. I like the Zaku 3's little mouth cannon. It's cute. Reminds me of who was the guy in Double Zeta who used the Zaku 3 for the first time? Not Mashmer. It was the one with the gray one.
Oh god, what was he called?
The double he was like the Xeon lieutenant. Rakan Dakaran. That's what his name was.
Yeah, him.
That guy fucking ruled. That guy was so cool. He did kill Hayato, but
he did.
Very sad.
That being said, like, you know,
he's cool.
I don't want to be a Hayato No, I got my characters mixed up. No, they killed off Raito. I'm so sad. No, I was thinking of the little kid who was kind of weird and annoying around Emma for... Yeah. That's a different series.
Hayato... Cats got killed by Yazan at the end of Zeta. Hayato got killed by Rakan and Double Zeta when they're dropping the colony on Dublin.
They told Frabo yet?
No! It's UC96 and they have not told Fraubo that Cats got beefed.
Cat's and her husband got beefed. She probably read that in the news and it's like, hey, where's my son? Fuck, where's my son? Oh no. Oh no. Beans. Oh, this guy also piloted the Doven Wolf. That comes up later. I have something to say about that, about interesting, because I'm big dweeb. When we get to later on in the episode, I do want to just kind of take a minute aside to talk about the developmental history of one of the mobile suits that we see.
Good. I have also some things to say about it that might not make me very popular among fans.
That's understandable. It's understandable. Is it that you don't really like the Neo Zeong?
Oh, no. I do like the Neo Zeong. I think the Silver Bullet looks like shit.
It's so bad!
It's fucking... you can't just put a Gundam head on a thing and call it a day. It looks like it's wearing fucking trip pants. It looks like dog shit.
Like, the thing that comes after it is really cool. Like,
because the coolest thing you can do is stick more arms on something.
Put more arms on it. Yes!
That's why the Neo Zeon is so cool, because it has fucking 8 arms.
Okay, good. I'm glad you liked it. I thought you would. I knew you'd love it.
Yes. I didn't like it when it had the fuel tanks in the feet, but then when it starts actually using its arms and the fuel tanks get blown up, I was like fucking hooting and hollering. It rules.
Yeah.
So anyway, way back to where we are in the episode still. Zimbabwe has to fight Angelo for a bit. Angelo uses his rose bits, which is what I'm gonna call them because they're just fucking that. They are George Desand's rose bits from G Gundam. Except they can make a psycho prism around the unicorn that disables Psycho Frame. It doesn't matter how it works.
Literally, it's I don't want to even think about how it works. I don't think it's worth thinking about it.
This
we
is
know
the
it
thing.
Does that. That's all
Angelo's,
we need to know.
Angelo's rose bits can disable Psycho Frame. That is the most sensible piece of technology in this episode.
It's the fact. It's like that. Psycho waves are still waves. So if you just pump stronger waves into it, then we'll turn it off in it. How could you disable NTD?
I'm just
how powerful are Angelo's vibes? I'm really confused about that.
He has simp vibes. He's so mad at Zimbabwe. He's like, I hated you from the moment I met you, but I won't have to hate you very soon.
It's it just reminds me of the real-time fan dubs
yes,
thing on the island where it's you have 15 seconds for the island fucking explodes, you hot topic wannabe, and you blue gumball son of a bitch. I hate you both. You've ruined my life. I hope you please die. Stuff like that.
Did you watch the Shadow the Hedgehog one?
Oh, it was so good. Oh, it was so good. It was so funny.
Oh god. So Riddy is having an issue. He starts to hear Minerva's voice telling him, "You know what must be done. Listen to your heart." And Marita starts talking to him as well. She's able to blow the Banshee's leg off, and both Minerva and Marita and everyone else kind of appears Force Ghost style in front of him in the cockpit. Telling him to listen to people's hearts and he needs to help Zimbabwe. He's trying to fight his pain and Minerva starts to reach out to him and he reaches out in the Banshee as well, but the gun, the beam magnum that he had floats and bumps into his arm and he recoils and he kind of snaps out of it.
He snaps out of it and has a very much a moment. Which was kind of, I really love that moment. Although it is followed by my least favorite moment of the episode because I just don't want to see my girl die. I love that moment of you have that instance of Riddy they finally got through to him. They finally he's starting to understand what it means to be a new type. He's finally starting to understand that he's not alone, that he doesn't need to be alone, and then his arm is... Because essentially, this moment with the NTD system active, the Banshee's body is an extension of his own, because that's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
His arm is bumped by what he wanted to be in the first place. He wanted to be a soldier. He wanted to get away from the lineage of politics and stuff like that he had. His what he is versus what he wants is very much clashing at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And in the moment where he does what he wants instead of what he should do and what he needs to be to the benefit of everyone, he ends up killing someone that a lot of people that are dear to him hold dear to themselves. And
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite moments in this episode of, oh my god, I hate Riddy so much, but he's so well written.
He's a compelling piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like
oh
that's
man,
the
this
thing.
episode's so good.
Nothing changes in what the people are telling him in his head. It's his perspective that changes, of him thinking that they're all mocking him, basically mocking him for like trying to find a way out of this cycle, which is what causes him to shoot Merida. And she just like, she accepts that. Like, she knows what's going to happen afterwards. She's accepting it. But like,
I think another thing for that is, I think Merida was just kind of done.
Yeah, she has been through so fucking much.
It feels very sad, but I think with the life Marida's lived, she finally got to a space where she's happy and she just kind of wants to ascend to that higher plane of existence that like new types get to when they like die.
Right, she gets to go to soup. She gets to go to the soup aisle.
Yeah, and
that's actually, that's kind of a common theme in this episode, really. Every character who dies in this episode,
their fates.
They fully accept and embrace what's happening to them. Like, you see it with Merida, you see it with Siam, you see it with Full Frontal.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Interesting. Much to consider. And Merida's death causes Zimbabwe to have a moment. Just his shields go apeshit and fly around and like bust up all of Angelo's rose bits, and like his vibes
just overpower the ones that are being given out by it's the fact that the psycho frame goes from a red to that like same like Axis Shock green.
Yeah.
And oh my god. And it's entirely brought on by the fact that, he's lost someone that's important to him. I think the Neil Argument team would have lost if Merida hadn't died. I think so very much the case of what this situation is. Because otherwise, Zimbabwe would have just been a sitting duck in the middle of the psycho, like the psycho wave trap, basically.
Yeah.
And as like, well as that, Merida's death is the thing that gets ready to kind of snap to it.
Yeah.
And kind of snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Without Riddy there to block grips, like he wouldn't like Zimbabwe put up 2 of those shields, and like Riddy was the 3rd one, and it was Riddy turning green that actually fully stopped grips from hitting Mac.
Yeah.
Like, it needed to happen, and it sucks that it needed to happen, but it did. And after Merida dies, like, she, immediately appears in front of Riddy, and she tells him, like, your heart's so sincere that it hurts you in addition to everyone around yourself. You just need to calm down and look at the world and, like, feel everyone resonating together.
It really has, and
she
that,
basically, like, she goes and visits everyone, really,
right
like,
there.
as she's kind of, floating.
Can't believe Riddy's Digimon is fucking Palmon, dude. He's got that crest of sincerity. I've been watching that recently. I've been watching Original Digimon Adventure. It's really good.
It's fucking great. I love Digimon Adventure.
Fucking Merida, like, visits everyone, and I like that she gives that little bit of extra time to Zinneman and to Minerva. And I think that's kind of... I think if Zinneman hadn't had that, then it would have ended a lot worse for him, because I think with Gundam characters especially, if they don't get a chance to say goodbye, which isn't typically a luxury Gundam characters have, death in Gundam is very much a very abrupt thing that kind of shocks everyone, but when characters do get that chance to say goodbye and get a chance to accept what's happening, then things typically end a lot better for them, and I'm glad that we can see that for Zinneman. I think after this series, I'd like to imagine that Zinneman isn't kind of just left alone suffering. I like to imagine that he's kind of turned his life around. I'd like to imagine that he isn't working for the Federation, but with how he did in this, they probably did just kind of suck him up. What I would like for him is to for him to go to that, like, what is it called? The Palau. I'd love for him to just kind of settle down on Palau and just have like a nice, comfy little life after this. And because he's never in any other pieces of Gundam media, that's what happened. That's canon in my mind.
That's
you
canon.
Can't
that's
stop
canon.
it.
That's canon. Yeah.
And he loves his family. And his funny little green car's called the Garan Sierras, and no one knows why the fuck he gave him that name.
That's right.
But he did.
That's good shit. It's just, yeah, like her saying thank you, father, to him. It's just like, mwah, chef kiss.
It gives
delightful.
that closure that I feel like he really needs.
Yeah, because like after that point, he is like, he's fucking in it to win it. Like, he is helping everyone out who needs it. Like, he's gone dad mode. It rules.
Mm-hmm.
And Marita then goes to Maneva, and she just says, Princess Marita Cruz standing down. And,
it brought that hit hard. That hit really hard.
So good. And she tells Maneva to just like, hold Zimbabwe close. And we cut from there to Zimbabwe, who just once again, green suit mode. His shields fly and destroy the rose bits.
Mm-hmm.
He reaches out to Angelo, and Angelo freaks out because in his perspective, he sees like Full Frontal turning away from him and going towards Zimbabwe because Newton, like, Angelo's. Is Angelo like a Cyber new type?
I'm not 100% sure. But I do have some Angelo lore, I believe.
Angelo,
yeah. In a lot of the people in the sleeves have very bad kind of histories that they were saved from. He is. My guy's not even a new type. God, what?
How does he control the bits? That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't. I'm Gundam Wiki. You're wrong. He has to be at least some flavor of new type.
It has. I'm looking at the Rosen Zulu's page. It has to have like you can't. Special equipment, Psycho Jammer, a unique feature of the Rosen Zulu which disrupts the connection and functions of enemy Psychomu guided weapons. They resemble rosebuds that can jam psycho waves. I like to believe he's a cyber new type because how the fuck you control that without your brain being fucked up?
Yeah.
He's probably not a regular new type. I don't think Zeon really has many regular new types left. Back
to the Angelo. In the novel, it's very much a case of, nobody, the Feddies suck and no one gets off easy, where he was, abused by, Federation soldiers, after the invasion of his town and the death of his father, and that continued with the master of the house that took him in, and then his mother, who was also being abused at the time, ended up killing herself, and Angelo had to commit himself to prostitution. And then Full Frontal picked him out and was like, I'm going to give you a purpose to live. It's very much a mirror to both Merida and to, although not with the kind of like sex trafficking angle of it, very much similar to how Shah took in Lala. He is Shah's Gama and Shah's Lala. And I think that is part of the reason why Full Frontal keeps him so close, but also why he's so fucking aggressive all the time. But as well as that, he's very much parallel to Merida. And I love the parallels in this series because you have someone so devoted to their master that they will eat, sleep, live, and die and kill for this person. That's Angelo. And then you have someone that's so devoted to what starts as a master but then becomes a father. It's very much a case of what this other person needs them to be.
Right.
I think Frontal wanted not like a partner in like a romantic sense, but a partner in a professional
like a
sense.
right-hand man.
Yeah, wanted a right hand, where Zinneman wanted a child. And I think that's part of the reason why they ended up so differently, despite being from so similar circumstances. And I think that's part of the reason why Angelo is, despite being a year older than Merida, that's part of the reason why they end up being so different. I am concerned. I'm going to look up Full Frontal's age right now.
I mean, he was a clone, so
he's
I feel
a ghost. It's fine. It doesn't count.
It's like how Xenoblade 3, like, every character has a 10-year lifespan because of the way the world works, and they're all, like, popped out of tubes. Yeah, what? It's like that is the first fucking thing you learn in the game. Yeah, they get popped out, they get grown in tubes and popped out, and they have, like, they're cool kind of, like, H-shaped tattoos. Like, they're red, and they turn gray the longer they've been alive to show how much, like, time you have left, basically. So Full Frontal could be, like, 3 years old, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. I believe it. He's Benjamin Button.
I think because I'm not sure if Full Frontal was very much like a clone, or yeah. So Full Frontal was someone who was genetically altered to be a perfect copy of Shar. And
he got face-offed.
He got face-offed. They made him look like Shar. They gave him that same scar that he got in the fight with Amuro. And then they took the memories and, like, psychic, like, vibes from the inside of the Sazabi's cockpit. They scraped them off and then slapped that goo into Full Frontal.
They made this MF Eat Psycho frame.
Yeah, pretty much. They minted fucking Char Aznavour on the blockchain, and that's Full Frontal. Yeah, so it was basically Char's soul is implanted into Full Frontal, and that's how you get Full Frontal.
That makes sense with how he died.
Yeah, and also it makes sense as to why he's so like Char, but also so different, because they are still fundamentally different people.
Mm-hmm.
But they're just kind of someone who's inherited the spirit in less a figurative way that we see a lot in Gundam, but in a literal way of this guy's soul is inside of me.
Yeah, you know what
That's
it is?
How I'm trying to be, baby. Hey, I'm kidding. Yeah. That's bad. That's a really bad joke to say.
Char has been playing the game from the beginning. Full Frontal was given a save state to load and figure it out from that point.
Yeah.
So he's doing the best with what he can figure out, and he's like, shit, I don't know why I'm in the Tower of Lost Souls at level 62 with all this gear I haven't remembered equipping, but I'm gonna try and do it anyway.
He's like picked up someone else's like copy of a Pokemon game from like CX or like GameStop in the pre-owned section or something like that. Just loaded in their save and just carrying on from that point.
Right, yeah, it's like, oh cool, I have a Charizard, I have a Tropius, and I have a level 2 Bagon. Alright, I'll figure it out. Okay, that's a good, God, Unicorn is fucking good.
So good. So good. I'm sorry for making a gross joke about wanting to sleep with Char Aznavour.
We can cut it.
No, you can leave it in if you want. It was funny.
Okay.
I just want to formally apologize for being thirsty for Char Aznavour.
Angelo also is not thirsty, but like, you know, he as he sees Frontal like go towards the Unicorn, he like gets indignant at first because, you know, he's choosing that over him, but then he sees Full Frontal turn around and reach out to him, so and he like clutches his heart as he does that, and like, since he's in tune with the psycho frame of the Rosen Zulu, just fucking jams himself in the cockpit.
Yeah.
And the Unicorn, like, but not Zimbabwe just kind of like passes out, and like the Unicorn itself flies away like as the psycho thing closes. At least that's what I thought happened, because like you see like Zimbabwe, his head like drops and you can't see his eyes. So I guess the Unicorn is like having a mind of its own, even if its psycho frame's not active, because like he's, you know, truly one with the machine now.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like see Angelo for quite some time after this. The implication's that he's dead, but we know better.
As well as that, the way that it hit the cockpit just doesn't make any sense for him to be dead. It hit around it, not on the cockpit directly.
Yeah.
If they wanted to make it seem like he was dead, it should have blasted the shit out of the cockpit.
I played a Crane game. If you grab like that, you can't pick anything up. He's fine.
Yeah.
We cut to that like Cheyenne War room real quick, and we see Alberto kind of start to have a change of heart here. Like, he starts like actually crying over Merida's death, which is like something you wouldn't have expected from him.
Yeah.
And like as much as I hate Alberto, I do think that his redemption in this episode was pretty good. But like I didn't expect him to have any kind of remorse for his actions. But like the fact that he does, he's like, you know, arguably the most human of like the Vists aside from Zimbabwe at this point. Mm-hmm. It's just interesting to me, and like we get more of him a lot later, but like, you know, we just get this little vignette of like, oh shit, he has a heart. we see the Nail Argama fire the Hyper Mega Particle Cannon, like, just fucks 3 of those Xeon ships up.
Oh,
like,
yeah, it does.
Two are gone, 1 is damaged.
It's not the worst Xeon ships get this episode, though.
We cut over to Riddy, who's shitting and crying and throwing up in his cockpit, and he's just, like, begging Zimbabwe to shoot him and end it, because, like, he can't handle the new type resonance anymore. He's hearing every voice around him. Like,
it's like a total overload. I think it's down to, I don't think he's a full cyber. I think he's had some augments. But in the time frame that he had between, it doesn't make any sense for him to go like through like a full transformation. I think they slapped some of the Wario pills in him, but that was kind of it.
Yeah, because it seems too convenient for him to have been a new type from the get-go. I mean, the Gundam wiki classifies him as a new type, but it also doesn't say Angelo is, so it's not a very reliable source.
I do think it was implied that he was a new type from the start, though, because he did have that like brief kind of flash moment with Zimbabwe during the Battle of Torrington Base.
Okay, yeah, like it's just and also I'll forgive it because again, if you're inside the cockpit of a machine that has more psycho frame than the history of Earth has ever seen up until this point, you're gonna get amplified a little bit.
Oh yeah, just a smidge.
But yeah, he's having a freak out, and like so is Zimbabwe. They're both just like crying in the cockpit because of like the sadness that they feel from Merida's death. Oof. This is when we cut back to Earth, and like Martha tells Ronan it's almost time to fire grips. This is when Bright arrives and like orders a surprise search of the Cheyenne base, and like this is when the TriStars pop in and kick ass. Like
they do cool stuff. Oh my god, those
the Gustav power pilot freezes.
He's like,
because he can't do anything.
And there's like a beam saber, like deactivated one, just pointed right to his cockpit, just like, hey, don't move, forehead.
It just and again, that shot of one of the TriStars stomping on the Zeta Plus as it tries to take off, it stomps on it, which like pops it out of Wave Rider, and you see its legs like fly up backwards, like it just completely eats shit. It's fucking slapstick
so
almost.
Good.
It's so funny. And then we cut back into space, and we see the unicorn's like refueled for the final battle, but it doesn't have any of the shit on it. It just has like it's 3 shields that have the beam gatlings on it.
Oh yeah.
I keep on forgetting, like, because I have the real grade unicorn final battle version. I keep on forgetting that he doesn't actually use the beam javelin that the Kshatriya uses.
Nope.
Well, like, it's on the kit and it's colored as if it is part of that kit, but it's just a separate thing. This is very strange. Like, I guess it was originally it had to have originally been designed for the unicorn, but they just gave it to the Kshatriya so it could have something to fight with, because it just had missiles and that was kind of it.
Yep. I'm sorry, I do not like the full armor unicorn because it's completely pointless.
It's so I after I watched the episode, I watched it's like this, you've probably seen it. It's this really short clip called UC Perfectibility.
Mm-hmm.
Which is literally like a 5-minute video from like one of the Gundam bases to again sell toys of the final battle between Banagher and Full Frontal, but the unicorn is the unicorn perfectibility, where it has blue psycho frame instead of green psycho frame, and it has all 5 of these special unicorn weapons. So it has the beam smart gun that the Banshee had, it has the vibrating nail that the Banshee had, it had the beam javelin that it's holding in the smart gun hand, it had the sort of like diamond shaped shield the Banshee had. It had 2 of those, and it had like the lion mane backpack the Banshee had.
That's so cool.
It is, I think, like both the full armor unicorn and the unicorn perfectibility are over-designed pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I think I like the perfectibility more because the weapons it has are actually like integrated with it well design-wise, not just like, let's just slap on a shit ton of grenade launchers onto this thing.
And as well as that, it doesn't pretend that it's canon.
Right, yeah, it is explicitly an alternate take useful. On it.
It's, I just hate that all of this cool stuff on it gets ditched immediately.
Right. But again, if we didn't have that, we wouldn't have seen Zimbabwe shoot off the fuel tank and just bonk a Gallus J off.
That was really cool, though. I will admit, that was the sickest thing I've ever seen.
So funny.
But they could have just given it a backpack then.
Yeah. Oh well. that's
It's the
again
weapons that are
byproduct.
pointless, and that's why it makes me mad. That Gallus J was cool as hell, though.
Yeah, it was like this really nice,
just like
dark blue color.
Boxing. With like the two big like shield things. It's so sick.
I like when suits do melee combat that's not beams, that's just like hitting. Like how the Zogok has fucking like boomerangs. Like how the Ifrit has like knives. It fucking kicks ass.
They did a bunch of build fighters like short kind of mini episodes that are all like kind of just cool fights. And one of them was like the main guy using his like amazing it's like the amazing Zaku, but he made like a specific version of it, and then slapped Shah in slapped like Amuro in it was like a version of the Reborn's Gundam from Double O, and there's this moment on it where like the spike shoulder pad of the Zaku just pops off, and he grabs it and he punches him with it, and it's the sickest thing I've ever seen. I need to send you that fight, because it's completely out of context. All the battle logs are. I'll send you that after this episode. It's incredible.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
So we go from a fight to, not a fight, Maneva gets in the cockpit with Zimbabwe as they like head to Magalonica. Zinnerman and Otto and everyone, like, Otto's wondering if they shouldn't, like, take the Nail Argama inside Magalonica and, like, lock themselves in. And Zinnerman's like, no, we gotta stay out here in case we have to fight. Like, it is our turn to protect the kids. And, like, as they do this, I guess, like, as part of the whole box process, like, Magalonica stops spinning. So they, like, it's, like, really heavy winds as everything's stopping. They have to, like, run inside the mansion.
Yeah.
But they get there. We see the tapestry. Stardew Valley Grandpa Siam comes on the PA and like he starts talking to him and he tells him,
"Hello, welcome to my house. I'd love for you to come deep into it."
MTV Cribs.
MTV Cribs. I've got me big spinning red cylinder. If you float down it in the right way, it looks a bit weird, and I really like that. It looks
like a fucking JRPG final boss dungeon.
I based this room off 2001: A Space Odyssey. I hope you really, really like it.
Do you
I don't
like
know why
my
I've given him
swiveling
that
sleep
accent.
number chair?
Well, the thing is about me chair.
That's what every old person sounds like.
The thing is about me big bed that I lie in all the time is it swivels around so I can look people in the eye without having to get up out of bed. And I really, really like that.
I'm a sleepy boy.
If you look up at the ceiling of the room, you'll notice the mind-controlled beam shotters. That are up in the ceiling in the corners of the room. And if I think about it, I can shoot people with them using my funny headband.
Do you like my Razer gaming headband? I have it on blue right now, but I can make it rainbow.
If when I'm gaming, it slops down little glasses, like they're called gunners, I think. It stops the blue light from ruining my brain. It's how I've stayed alive all these years. I've been playing CSGO.
Do you want to see my Stardew Valley farm? They put me in the game.
I demand
I'm the grandpa.
I'm the real Stardew Valley grandpa. I used my connections through the Vist Foundation to put me in the game.
I blackmailed Concerned Ape Studios with the bots. They put me in the game.
Oh my god.
This guy
insane
rules.
little man. Oh my god, I hate him so much. What a loser. Oh, I love him. He's brilliant.
As Zimbabwe and Merida go down the final boss tunnel, we see full frontal. We see like a really shot from far away of him in the Neo Zeong. We never hear it called the Neo Zeong. It's the Neo Zeong.
That's the name of it, yeah.
Yeah, and we see him like, going towards Magalonica.
Really big.
As they like descend this tunnel, we hear exposition from Siam talk about how evolution took billions of years to create humanity, so new type's not like a traditional evolution, but like a cognitive leap of humanity.
It's like a really big jump.
Yeah, and when they make it to the bottom, they see the charter, they see the Declaration of Independence, and this is when Maneva notices there's one extra article, and that article is, in the future, should the emergence of a new space-adapted human race be confirmed, the Earth Federation shall give them priority Give priority to involving them in the administration of the government. That is Laplace's box. We found it. That's the box.
The implication that the Federation needs to prioritize new types is the entire reason why all of this fighting and bloodshed has taken place.
Right.
Despite the fact there is no real way to prove that new types exist other than believing in it. And it's like, and fuck.
It is so smart.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is genuinely such a, like, the fact that it is just a fucking sentence is what the box is. But, like, the fact that one sentence is just like, oh, Zeonzum Daikun was right. Like, the fact that, and again, it's amazing to me. I love this whole core conceit that it didn't fucking matter at all.
Yeah.
But in that moment, you're like, oh shit, you understand why the Federation is so fucking afraid. Because if this like got out and people like, this would just like turn like the fires of Zeon into a fucking inferno and the Earth would just be like fucked from this whole thing.
It would
like,
start another 1 year war, they say.
Yeah, like, it is such a smart piece of writing that the box is literally just a sentence, but, like, a government-sanctioned sentence, you know? And, like Siam says, because they come face-to-face with him, he says it's both a curse and a prayer. And, like, shit, yeah, it is. Like, it's a curse to the Federation, it's a prayer to Space Noids. Like, and the whole thing is the question of, are you gonna tell people about it? Who knows? It's, oh god, it's really cool. And like,
it's just so good.
It's peak liberalism to me of this idea that the government cares about the law exactly as it's written, and a piece of information being revealed is enough to overturn so much of like the government mechanism, which from real life doesn't work usually ever, and in Gundam's case doesn't work true to life.
It's very much a case of Banagher's like naive liberalism versus Hathaway's based direct action.
It's like I'm envisioning in my mind's eye that where do you work out the library meme of like Banagher, where do you work out? And he's just like glowing green, and halfway just has a fucking
up, like,
gun
3 feet off the ground.
Halfway just has a fucking gun.
He's got like a gun and like 3 like Molotov cocktails strapped to his waist.
It's still just like, it's such a fun wrinkle in Gundam, and like I really like that. I feel like I can't speak highly enough of how cool this whole reveal is. What I think hits me so good about it is you see in like so much types of different media when something is written as a not like as a prequel, but like chronologically before something else, you see so many writers try and like hand wave away why the things they introduce in that don't show up later.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Gundam, you see it all the fucking time of like, look at this prototype suit. Oh, it got destroyed by the end of the movie, so you don't see it in the future at all. Like, I don't care about that, right? I don't need everything to be expanded and like show why every single thing didn't come to pass, because I understand that like when you make media, you can't future-proof everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they didn't need to do that with Laplace's box because of what it ends up becoming, which is nothing, is just so fun to me. That they didn't need to future-proof it because it makes so much sense in the fiction of the universe that like, yeah, it didn't matter in the end. Sorry. Game over, I guess.
They say in it, like, yeah, this might even lead to anything. This might not even lead to anything. This may be completely pointless and nothing may change.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the principle of it needed to be out there and it needed to be found. And I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of I've been on kind of like I've been on a kick. I've been liking a lot of these memes that are all about like, oh, the indomitable human spirit recently, and just I don't know why, but they make me happy. And it's very much, I feel like it's very naive to believe in the fact that if you give them the tools to, humanity will do good things. But it's also kind of nice and noble to have that belief that people will do the right thing.
It's comforting
nice,
to believe
it's very comforting. And although it may not be the case all the time, Oh no, Banagher's my favorite protagonist now. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh fuck!
Oh!
Bazinga's trick!
I think it's Banagher's choice to, with all the things that he's seen and all the things that he's been through and all the things that have happened, he could very much be a very cynical human being, but he's choosing to believe that people will do the right thing, and I love him for that.
It's such a fucking JRPG moment of like, you killed God, you can become God, what do you want? And the hero just says, I want no gods, I want humanity to decide their own future. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude, let's go!
Yeah, let's go! Yeah!
It's good. It's really good. I like, oh gosh. I'm simply chef kissing. This is delightful. It's so good.
Magnifique.
And as Siam explains all of this, he exposits everything we just said to Zimbabwe and Maneva. Riddy is saying the same thing to Otto and Zinnerman and like the entire crew of the Nail Argama. And you know, Riddy kind of he wonders if like Ricardo Marcenas wanted to atone for, you know, humanity going into space in the first place by writing that article, by trying to future-proof it to be like, yeah, sorry, you all have to go into space, but
this is a terrible implication here that Riddy knew what the box was the whole time.
I mean, he did. He was told what the box was. Yeah. I think he was told what the box was when he first went to Earth.
Like episode 3, he's known since then, and it's just like, oh, I want to throttle this kid.
Yes, sucks. And like, you know, Maneva then tears into Siam for he'd been extorting the Federation the entire time because the Federation knew what the box was and Siam knew what the box was, and Siam was just using that to get his cool gamer chair and his his razor headband and all that shit. And he talks about, you know, in 4 years the curse will fade away as Xeon's independence is no more. But this prayer can face the god of possibility. And then, you know, Maneva says this could bring down the Federation, and he's like, yeah, it might just do nothing either. But he says he wanted to give this to true new types, like not, and like it's interesting to me that he specifically says a cyber new type wouldn't work. It has to be someone who was born and got turned, like, you know, turned into a new type over time instead of like being made in a lab.
Yeah,
which is interesting to me. Like, I feel like Gundam doesn't delve that much into like, you know, cyber new types are a weapon of war, but I feel like I can't. I mean, it could just be just because it's been a while since I've watched Zeta and Double Zeta, but it just is strange to me that this series is literally saying, yeah, cyber new types are inferior to regular new types.
I think it's more so a case of Siam is old and has an older mindset. And
he's old racist grandpa.
He's old racist grandpa, because the thing is, he's saying Banagher is a true new type, but Banagher is also a cyber new type. So I think it's kind of him being like a transphobic old. It's the same as like a transphobic old person being like, oh, you're a strapping young gentleman, to like a trans guy, and just being like, not realizing like what they actually are. And if he knew, if Banagher went like, oh, hi, I'm a cyber new type, he'd be like, get out, and then start blasting with his brain lasers.
Right. Well, it's funny too, because like he says all this, but like, I mean, clearly, you know, Zimbabwe is more powerful than Full Frontal by an immense
long
margin.
Shot. Oh my god!
But when they resonate together, like, it's not like they're both on equal footing in their weird time travel journey. So like, it's not like cyber new types aren't capable of doing these kinds of things either. It's just interesting to me that this. I think it does boil down to Siam is just a transphobic, bigoted old person,
bigoted old dude that loves Stardew Valley.
And Riddy starts to realize how bad he fucked up when he killed Merida, and like he lets everyone down. But he's kind of snapped out of it when an explosion hits Magallanica. So, you know, he flies to investigate. And Siam, and this is, God, this line I think was one of my favorite parts of this whole episode. When Siam says he has but only one desire, to entrust the box to two new types. And he's like, but I realize that there is many only desires as there are humans alive. So he's like, what do you desire, my great grandson? Like, it's just really cool moment of just like, you know, it's not up to me. Like, I've been using the box, but like, it's not like him saying it's your problem now, but it's him saying, I entrust this to you. Do with, like, you can keep it here. I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm about to die. I'm about to beef it, man.
Yeah.
And this is, and I like this too because Zimbabwe's like, humans couldn't detect real new types if they existed. Me and Maneva might not be the ones you're looking for, but even so, I want to believe in the possibility of what humans possess.
Yeah.
And then and then Siam goes hacker mode.
He goes like
he hacks
so fucking
into
wild.
every satellite around
Every
the Earth
single
sphere.
one, all of them. He's hacking your
This is-
telly, your TV right now. He's on there. He's playing Stardew Valley through your
This is
PC.
so
He's mining
fucking
bitcoins
funny.
as we speak.
I love it. He's like, this is hard for even me with all my connections, but you can talk to everyone. Period.
Oh my god.
But of
No,
course,
people
at
on
this
Moon
point,
though.
yeah.
Moon
At this
Moon,
point, he has a
fucking clue what's going
5-star.
on here.
Yeah. He has a 5-star wanted level from the Federation. Like, they're going to send everything to stop this broadcast. And Full Frontal walks in with his normal suit. I like him in his normal suit. He looks cool.
He looks so cool in his normal
It's
suit.
it's like Shar's normal suit from Gundam, but cool. It's like not as like pink, but it's like, just more cybery and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells Zimbabwe that he's about to lock possibility away if he opens this box. And he's like, the only thing that'll lead Space Noids to true prosperity is to continue to use the box as a bargaining chip against the Federation to get what Space Noids want. And as this happens, like, Riddy's infiltrating Magalonica, and like the Neo Zeong is parked, but it's still active as its like finger wire bits are shooting off and like taking control of Jestas, and like it's weird. It's like puppeteering them, causing them to shoot each other. It's very freaky.
It's
what
so
it can do.
cool though.
And Full Frontal is like, I'm taking the box. I'm not asking. Like, he says this is not a negotiation, but he, like, cooperate and it won't be as bad for you. Despite Maneva just saying, you're a loser cyber new type. Are you just programmed to do all this shit? But, he's like, I'm not a vessel, or I'm not empty anymore. I'm full of humanity. He keeps on saying the same shit. You get it.
I'm full of vim and vigor.
Full of piss and vinegar.
Piss and vinegar. And I'm gonna do a war crime about it.
Yeah. And this is when Siam like looks into the camera and says, maybe you're right, Full Frontal. Maybe the box should remain closed. Maybe
the
nothing
real
will ever happen.
Gundam unicorn is the friends we made along the way.
And
They
like
all
he's
walk
about
into the
to
sunset.
he's about to shoot Siam, but Siam uses his psionic abilities to activate like this security system and like fire lasers that Full Frontal, who has to escape. He can't take the box or anything. And this is when like Zimbabwe jumps up and he's like, I'll come back. Don't worry, I'll promise.
I'll be back.
So he gets in his Sinanju inside the Neo Zeong and like breaks in through Magalonica as Zimbabwe's like trying to escape. And like, he's sent flying, and this is when Guile comes in the silver
bullet. This thing sucks.
This thing is fucking. I need to look at it again, just to like reinforce my beliefs. Because like I like the Dove and Wolf. I think it looked cool.
Yeah.
Why are its feet so? It's like it looks. Okay. Like looking at the Dove and Wolf. The Dove and Wolf is cool because like first of all the color scheme kicks ass. It's teal and red with like that gunmetal and like some cool yellow accents. But it's like meant to be all this weird stocky thing because it's developed from the Psycho Gundam. It has like that array of chest beam emitters that the Psycho Gundam has. Like it looks kind of like it has like a really short head and like a really like short legs. But then with the silver bullet, you add more rounded bits to it, which I think look bad on its own. I think the color scheme is cool. It's like gray with some dark teal accents and like white and dark gray elsewhere. But the feet are gigantic. The chest is like very plain, and then it just has a Gundam head on the top of it, and it
didn't need
dumb.
to have the Gundam head. It's just so dumb. Why do its arms shoot off? Why does it do that?
Yeah.
Why are the big cool like Rick Diaz things on the back of it, like rocket pod things? Why does it look like that? Why are its feet like that? Why does it have a Gundam head? Why does it have 2 whole V-fins? Why is there a V-fin on the back? I don't get it.
Yeah,
why is it so silver? Why does it have like green things on? It just looks bad.
Yeah. Neo Zeong doesn't, though. It just tears this thing a fucking part. No legs, no arms. Full Frontal's just like it's like he's fucking DJing Coachella just with all the lasers flying everywhere. He is just melting this entire colony builder.
Yeah. He's just like, right, check this out, lads. Gonna do a D&B set. And then just goes like, and then he just falls through the floor. It's so good.
It rules.
And then Banagher calls out for the unicorn and it comes to him. And that bit there is the reason why I kind of say that little personal access flash moment back in the end of episode 5, I believe, does still make sense. I think that's why it is, because I do believe that the unicorn does have somewhat of a mind of its own. And I think that it resonates with Banagher, and Banagher kind of... Sorry, Zimbabwe. I think that they have a resonance together. They have a mutual form of trust, and I really like that. And I think that's the reason why it kind of had that thing that typically requires like two new types kind of meshing together. But if you have like a sentient mobile suit made of psycho frame almost entirely, that kind of also counts.
Right. The only problem is that he didn't yell Gundam and snap his fingers like Domon does in G Gundam.
He did not. He did not. It would have been
a
sick
small
if he
deduction
did
of
that.
points for that, but it's still very cool for him to go, unicorn! And it does. It rules.
Yeah.
I really like the shields of the unicorn kind of start stealing the show.
Oh, yeah,
he has
they do.
3 of them. And, like, they basically act as funnels. Like, they're spinning around, and, like, when he gets all 3 together, it's, like, this perfect eye field deflector. It's a very cool piece of equipment. And, like, they have the beam gatlings, like, strapped to the back of them. He has 6 of those fucking things now.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, so he like, dunks full frontal out of there. Does Guile even die here?
Nah, he doesn't die. He just gets a bit bloodied up.
Yeah, he just blood's gushing from his head. He's like, "You're probably proud of you, I guess."
I showed up for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Bye.
look at my cool goatee. Oh shit, I got exploded. Oh,
I got blown up. I got lasered in the face.
So Riddy and Zimbabwe got to team up as full frontals in the Neo Zeong. Now the Duffin Wolf the Duffin Wolf is cool. The Silver Bullet is whatever. The Neo Zeong, on the other hand,
Get a load of this, dude.
This is just Gurren Lagann. This is a robot piloting a robot.
It's a robot piloting a slightly much bigger robot.
It's, first of all, the fact that this is a kit that exists is so fucking cool to me that you can just buy it.
It is the biggest high grade.
It was a bummer. I think it was recently listed on P Bandai, and like they like unlisted it because they're like, shit. I don't know if they got too much interest and they knew they couldn't produce all of it.
Yeah.
The fact that it exists, I mean, I would also have to get a Sinanju too for it, but like still, it is big and red. It has like these 2 absolutely massive fuel tanks sticking out where the legs would be. And this is why I didn't like it at first, because I thought those were like, they remind me too much of legs. Like when I look at the Zeong, I like hoot and holler and clap. When I look at the perfect Zeong, I kind of frown and shake my head.
Yeah, I don't like the perfect Zeong.
It doesn't need legs.
Really
you don't
dumb.
need legs in space.
That's the whole point.
But when the fuel tanks get destroyed, like these thrusters kind of come out and like act as those 2 front main thrusters that we saw on the regular Zeong. It's just covered in mega particle cannons just all over. Its fingers are both... Its fingers can do so much. There's like 5 of it on each quote-unquote hand. And each one is like simultaneously a wired bit that can shoot beams and can also like, like we saw earlier, take over other suits.
Yeah.
And the Sinanju sits in the middle of it. And then on the back, there's 4 more arms.
I don't know where these arms keep coming from.
It's so funny when Riddy like tries to take him from behind, and these 4 arms pop out and just start fucking him up. But they're shooting at Full Frontal, and Full Frontal talks about how the warmth they feel from the psycho frame is all for nothing. And Siam wonders again if the future will change from opening the box. It won't. But Mineva says even so, Zimbabwe will do what he thinks is right, just like the founding fathers of space did. That's a little bit of editorializing on my part, but they basically are the space founding fathers.
Yeah. 100%.
The boys shoot off the fuel tanks of the Neo Zeong's legs. And Full Frontal actually starts getting mad here. He's like, you would oppose humanity's will. And this is when the Psycho Shart generator appears.
It's a big ring that blows up all of your weapons.
So this is
why. Can you give me a crash course? Do tell me. Tell me right now, teacher.
I'm going to read you an article from the wiki, and this is just going to make you more mad.
It's going to make me so furious, honestly.
The Psycho Shard generator is a new large Psychomu armament and is also the Neo Zeong's most powerful weapon. The generators are stored within the sides of the skirt armor and in the large shoulder thruster units. Once deployed, they create a massive ring of golden hexagonal crystals, the Psycho Shards, behind the machine's back. The Psycho Shards then generate a massive Psycho field, which is said to be capable of actualizing the pilot's thoughts. And this resulted in the destruction of the Unicorn and Banshee's weapons. Many details about the Psycho Shard technology is unclear. You think? And it is rumored that Full Frontal, possessed by Shar Aznable's spirit, designed it with knowledge from a higher plane of existence. What?
I'm going to throw myself out of a window.
This is like the one thing that I think is fucking dumb about this entire finale.
If his big weapon is a big crystal ring that can make any wish come true...
And the fact that what he chose to make happen...
I'm gonna blow up all your weapons.
Why not blow up the suits, dude?
Exactly! I didn't want to be the one to say it. I didn't want to be like, why do they not simply blow up their suits and move?
Yes, it is very cool that we see the magazines overheat, and we even see, the temples of the Banshee overheat and explode, and we see Zimbabwe eject the magazines of the head Vulcans. I thought it was
just a big microwave generator that would just blow up all the things that could explode.
Callie, that would make so much more sense.
It would have been so much better.
It emits ammo-reactive waves that would blow that up. No, it wouldn't even need that.
It wouldn't even need that. It would shoot out a wave of just heat that would lock onto anything that could explode, because bullets do explode, and I'm pretty sure there's some active thing.
That's what bullets are.
That's what bullets are. And I'm pretty sure there's an active thing in any kind of beam weaponry that would, heat up
the Kyber crystal.
Off the beat. If that just heated that stuff up, it's a big microwave ring that shoots these waves through space, because they can exist in space as well. That would make sense. And just blow up all of your weapons. That would make complete and total sense. But I suppose the issue with that is, but what about the Minovsky particle reactors? Well, surely they probably already have some kind of radiation blocking thing, so all of the pilots in their mobile suits don't die from the nuclear reactor that is right next to the cockpit. It would have made perfect sense if they just made it a big old microwave reactor. Or something like that.
No, we don't.
But no, it's a big crystal wing that makes your wishes come true. I fucking hate the Neo Zeong now. I hate this thing. Yeah! I hate it so much. That makes me so angry.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm actually furious right now.
We got something good out of this whole exchange. Because then Zimbabwe just starts fucking throwing hands.
It's so good. They just start punching them and they start ripping bits out. Because,
it makes very little sense. Because, Merida was able to blow off the Banshee's leg just fine, but somehow
it can just punch through holes. I'm not arguing.
Maybe because the Banshee wasn't resonating at that point. The Unicorn and the Sinanju are resonating at this point, and the animation really fucking good.
Oh yeah,
it's very dynamic. You get a lot of squash and stretch going on here, but he goes melee mode. He punches through the Sinanju's arm he fucking karate chops the other arm off.
Yeah. He goes
it's fucking so melee
sick.
mode.
They just start punching it.
And as he's doing this, the resonance it's happening again. It's happening again.
It's happening again. It's happening again.
This is a small issue I have with this whole sequence. I really liked the simplicity of just this very beautiful green, blue, yellow soup color from Char's counterattack. This is a 90s science class VHS tape that we're inside right now.
Yeah.
It's you look back to the psychedelic sequence of when Amuro killed Lala in the first Gundam series, and it's this gorgeously animated whole thing, and this is just we're fucking Sephiroth casts fucking Big Bang and we like see 90s JRPG graphics flying through the planets. Like, it looks a little bit lame to me personally.
It was a little bit lame. I was kind of like, oh, what is going on here? I wasn't 100% sure what was happening other than they were like flying through the soup.
And they sure are flying through the soup, let's be clear.
Yeah.
So people also, from what I understand, people don't like this. People really don't like this. People are like, you can't do time travel. I don't think it's literal time travel.
It's not literal time travel. I think it's kind of, what I think it is both of them were already, I'm assuming it's the case of both of them were already very powerful new types even before they had gotten their like cyber new type augments. Because, you know, Shah was powerful enough to kind of do that with the first Axis Flash in the first place. And then Banagher is such an insanely powerful new type. Like, now, we can only assume that, like, part of that is down to the fact that he was already a powerful new type before he had his cyber new type augments.
He's like Ultra Instinct now.
I think it's very much a case of they just vibed so hard they kind of imagined what the world would be like looking at that. And they saw the past and they envision a possible future. It is not the future, but I'm assuming it's a future that they themselves together, their kind of, you know, space magic brains are resonating together to make to look at, basically.
Yeah, because you know, the concept of new type is like being in touch with humanity, kind of. So it makes sense that by resonating, they're able to kind of tap into this collective human consciousness. And they go back in time. They see the Axis shock. They see the Battle of Aboa Ku, the white base getting blown up. They see Giran's solar beam. They see the Battle of Solomon, Big Zam. They see Operation British. They see Siam's cool terrorism back to like where the UC began. And then they travel to the end of time, like Chrono Trigger. And this is another issue I had. I don't know why Full Frontal like suddenly goes nihilism mode, but he's like, you see Zimbabwe, this is the inevitable future that all of humanity is heading to, this infinite darkness. No amount of struggling can stop this from happening. And I don't necessarily have a problem with him going nihilism mode about this. I wish he was like that from the beginning, though. Yeah. Like, it certainly makes sense that, the collective human unconscious is not in a good place mentally.
Pretty bad,
and turns to nihilism. But his entire thing was him talking about this hopeful future he wanted to make for Space Noids. But now he's like, and it's all gonna turn to nothing. Like, I think give me a little bit of that beforehand.
I think with that perspective of that being what he thinks of the far future to come, I think maybe we can look at it in a case of maybe the Sidecrow prosperity sphere wasn't so much about protecting Space Noids, but more kind of being vindictive towards the Earth itself.
Yeah.
I think that may make a lot more sense if we put it through that perspective of that nihilism matched with the idea of we're going to cut out the Earth from what everyone else is having.
What also just struck me is, what if this is what Full Frontal himself believes? Like, he's okay being this vessel for humanity, and his actions themselves are trying to act in the collective will of the Space Noid people. Full Frontal himself, being this lab creation, essentially, has this nihilistic viewpoint that only when he's fully in the soup with Banagher is he going to manifest, say, and this is what I think's going to happen, personally. It's bad.
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool, too. We don't get that, and I think it's certainly... Enough is just weird about this entire sequence that I think we can fully speculate on what this actually is.
Oh yeah,
but, like,
for sure.
It's I do think this is a very, very cool way of like going full new type at the end of this series.
Yeah, for sure.
And then a beautiful swan.
A beautiful, beautiful swan flies off with his soul.
This was cool. It makes sense that Lala is the one to call him back. It makes even more sense. I saw that second hand come in, and I was about to fucking punch my screen if it was Amuro. Thank God it was Shar himself.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God it was Shar himself. Like, I hate to see Amuro. Fuck that guy. I like Shar a lot more. So the fact that Lala and, like, the original soul of Shar are like, all right, buddy, let's go to new type heaven together. It's just a very nice ending of Full Frontal being like, okay, goodbye now. My time is up, I can tell.
he just kind of was like, you know what? Change the world. My final message.
Exactly.
Goodbye. And then he realizes
died. He realizes that nothing he could say could change Zimbabwe's mind. Like, even in this pitch black future of nothingness, he's like, even so. Like, we see a light shine from inside his heart, and he's like, even so, like, I'm gonna believe in humanity instead. And like, we kind of snap back to reality. Gravity.
There goes gravity.
The Neo Zeon like deteriorates. It like crumbles to dust.
Yeah.
Again, maybe his last wish was to die, and that's what happened. The Psycho Shard just killed himself. Makes more sense that like the Psycho Shard's just like, that's a dangerous technology you're using that just backfired on himself. But hey, hopefully we don't need to think about Psycho Shards anymore.
I'm never gonna think about them ever again. Ever. If you make me think about them again, I'm gonna hit someone with a car. I'm not gonna like drive a car. I'm gonna pick it up like the Hulk and hit someone with it.
Yeah, fucking Hulk style.
Yeah.
And Full Frontal's just like, you know what? Do what you think is right. And he becomes a beautiful bird as he and Shar and Lala fly to heaven. Amen. It's weird.
Yeah.
But we're not over. The show's not over yet.
The big beam laser thing still hasn't shot yet.
Yeah. On Earth, Bright is like arguing with Martha about this utilitarianism. And you know, she's trying to tell him that this is in the Federation's best interest to shoot this war gun. But Alberto kind of snaps at her, saying, you know, grandfather always talked about how, you know, sacrificing the few for the many is okay. And you said you always reject men's ideals, so why are you going, like, I sided with you originally, why are you being like him now? And, you know, he hoped that Martha would be different and would maybe break that cycle of, like, that Vist cynicism. Clearly not. But Martha just kind of rejects whatever he's saying. And then Bright walks up to Ronan, who's, like, getting ready to press, he's pressing,
big red button.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it in gaming terms. He has his Q ready. He's getting ready to pop his ultimate.
He's ready to slap down his R in League of Legends.
Yeah, and Bright tells him, if you do that, I'll become an enemy of the Federation. And you know, Ronan is like, okay, whatever. And Bright's like, you know, at least I won't have children who are ashamed of me for my actions. As he looks into the camera,
looks into the camera dramatically after reading the novel known as Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway's Flash from the 1980s. And then Alberto's just like, your son's there, mate. You can't shoot after he hits the button. I'm just like,
buddy, you couldn't have revealed that information 5 seconds ago.
That's bad.
That's bad. Like, there's a sense of timing to these things, Alberto. Because Rodin's like, oh shit, oh fuck, my baby boy.
My baby boy. And, he starts flashing back to him as a kid with like a little toy plane.
Yeah.
And then he's like, is there any way to like undo it? And like, there's a minute till firing. There's 1,000 people on Gripes 2 right now. I'm not gonna let the core overheat and blast you know, stuff.
It's like, when he starts the countdown too, it's at 600 seconds, so he has like 10 minutes to just sit and think about what he just did.
Yeah, it sucks so much. And it isn't until like there's 2 minutes till it's like left to fire where he brings him to like, could we stop it?
Yeah.
It's man's an idiot. Man's an absolute clown.
He's fucking stupid. But so is Zimbabwe. His clown plan, he's like, I'm just gonna stop the laser. And everyone's like, all right, man. Good luck, I guess.
Okie dokie.
Okay. Riddy says he'll help too because he's good now. He's no longer the Joker, I guess. Whatever.
He's stopped being the Joker from the film Joker and has started being the Joker from the Harley Quinn season 3, where he's socialist running for mayor.
Yeah, he's Epic Joker now.
I love Epic Joker. He's great. He's a family man.
And Grips does indeed fire. It like curves around the Earth, which is really cool. The Rulula is melted.
Oh yeah, no,
that ship is gone.
Like, the guy looks behind him and is just like, oh, and then he's just it's like he's
gone.
white and an outline, and then everyone's dead.
And then this is when I start hooting and hollering like a fucking trained seal. Because Zimbabwe gets the new type flash. The lightning bolt appears and does that brrr, as he unleashes his psycho field, like he T-poses, the shields fly out in front of him.
And then the Banshee also T-poses.
Yeah, and it's like a green, a yellow shield, and like grips, it like breaks through the first one, it breaks through the second one, it like breaks through the third one a little bit, and then Riddy is able to make the Banshee also turn green with his wishes, and it just stops the laser entirely. Like, we see the unicorn like start to break apart. Then it fucking terrestrializes.
It turns to gemstones.
And like Merida finally talks to him. Oh, I love this moment so much. She basically, and you're paraphrasing here, she tells him hope will always rise out of despair. You are light, and you can even use sadness as your fuel to light the way. The path will lead over the rainbow. As the unicorn is just, it is rock candy, fully crystalled out, fully stops Grip's laser, and like everyone on Earth is like freaking out. They're like, shit, did everyone die? And then Minerva max headrooms her way in to every fucking TV
does.
and radio on
she
Earth.
She literally does, and just like, right, this is Laplace's box. Fetty suck. Goes on. And then puts her fists up in the air, and everyone starts whooping and hollering. Like she's fucking Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball.
Exactly.
It's exactly what happens.
Yes, this is the box.
This is the box.
I like that Siam just dies during this address.
Does he die? Is he actually
Yeah,
dead?
he dies! His headband fades to black, like his headband, the light fades away, he closes his eyes, and all the lights turn off in his room.
I didn't notice that. I like after a speech, he just looks around and is like, okay, how was... Oh...
Yeah, the fact, like, he didn't die after the speech. He dies during the speech.
During the speech, he's just like, it'd be a real dick move to die now.
Oh, it rules. And like, the Echoist guys, they kind of call him Zinnerman because they need someone to help pilot the colony builder away. And you know, Otto asks Zinnerman if he can do it, and he's like, hey, let's get a drink after this is all over. I like that
they're buddies
nice
now.
They're old buddies now. They're old drinking buddies. It's nice. And can I just say the music in this episode is fucking amazing. It is so. It's all, if you look on like Spotify has all of the Unicorn soundtracks. It like at the beginning, the first 2 volumes are all kind of like individual songs, and it's all just like symphonic suites by this point.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, this music begins to play, and like Riddy's just like in tears as the unicorn is like still in crystal mode after, you know. Minerva continues to give this address, you know, basically revealing the box and like leaving it up to humanity to decide what this means for everyone.
It's so funny. It's the funniest thing ever. Where like Riddy kind of like gives the unicorn like a hug from the back of the Banshee,
yeah,
and then it just goes like no, and it zoops off. It just goes back to normal, and he's like, right, okay,
right, all right, bye. I guess leave me here, whatever.
See you later, boy. The unicorn's just fixed now.
Yeah. I'm stuck like this. I can't move. Really, help. I'm T-posing.
But if T-posing, you gotta break me out of the crystals.
Yeah. The Cheyenne base is like, they figure out that Zimbabwe is using the unicorn to like relay Magellanica's radio waves throughout the entire, you know, Earth sphere using its psycho frame. And fucking Martha orders like a shit ton of suits to go take him down because the Federation still wants his ass dead, and like Alberto just kind of tells her like, hey, give it up, like we're done, we just got to start over and like try and do right this time. And like she gets taken away, and like despite her being this irredeemable piece of shit, at least she like, you know, she lays her hand on Alberto's shoulders and gives him like a kind of a smile as she's taken away. Like, yeah, I think she also realizes, yeah, I kind of went off the deep end there at the end. But Zinnerman and Echoas, they like make it to Magellanica, and they're getting ready to pilot it out. We cut to Angelo, who's alive. He wakes up, and conveniently enough, he's right in front of Full Frontal's escape pod cockpit, and he sees him dead. Very sad, but what can you do? Riddy is like, he goes to Zimbabwe and tells him, hey, we gotta go. We have a 5-star wanted level. They're gonna get our asses, dude. But he's like, you know, you gotta keep yourself safe because you've just been born. You know, he's talking in this analogy of like Zimbabwe is the first, like, true new type. Like, he is a higher being at this point, basically. If I understand the lore correctly, his soul is literally fused to the unicorn when it's in this crystal state.
That's so
which is kind of
sick.
interesting to me. Yeah, it's fucking rad. But despite him just being born, he flies off, and Riddy flies off after him, and he makes the Banshee go green as he does this too. And there's that really bad line if he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna steal Maneva if you don't come back." Like, he's saying it in a joking manner, but also that's not a funny joke, pervert.
That's not funny. That's not funny. You killed people for that.
And this is
don't
another
joke
thing.
about that, sir.
Fucking loser. This is another thing that people take umbrage with, and I'm willing to hand wave it away because it is a literal hand wave from Zimbabwe. So you see him wave his hand, and he stops all of those suits in front of him, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened when he does that?
What?
He turned time back to, like, disassemble.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
The engines of all of those suits in front of him.
No, he didn't. He just turned them off. Dude. No, he didn't undo them. He didn't. Oh my god. He could have just turned them off. He could have just... Oh.
It's like... As cool as all the unicorn bullshit is...
It's the time travel part of it that I don't like.
Yeah. It's like...
And the wishes shit. Fuck me. I'm
still
mad about the crystal shard generator.
I have another wiki article excerpt to read for you. This is for the luminous crystal body of the unicorn. The unknown luminous crystal Psycho Shard is an additional medium that creates psycho field and is produced from the full Psycho Frame body to the extent that it pushes away the armor, unlike the preliminary plan Destroy Unchained, which is devised in the event should NTD operating levels exceed control range values, blah blah blah. This form was unanticipated by the developer, Anaheim Electronics. The Psycho Shart is an accidental byproduct that also occurred during operational testing of Unit 1. It is said that the Neo Zeong Psycho Shard generator, which can artificially create miracles using the Psycho field, was created from data obtained during that period. So Full Frontal's bullshit is like the less good version of what Zimbabwe does right here. When Banagher displayed levels exceeding the limits of new type ability when attempting to generate an unprecedented psycho field to stop the colony laser's destructive beam, his soul fused with the mobile suit through the psycho frame and the Unicorn Gundam emerged as a new life form. In this fused state, it's also possible for the Unicorn to perform feats such as disabling all weapons on Earth or physically traveling back in time.
I can't believe the unicorn's gonna go back in time and stop Al Qaeda. I can't believe it. I can't believe he's gonna go back in time and shoot Hitler. He's gonna go back in time and stop the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah.
He's gonna go back and undo every single war crime ever been committed because the unicorn can just do that apparently.
He's gonna pick Franz Ferdinand up in his strong, loving arms and have him eat a sandwich in the park somewhere.
He's gonna be nestling him in his hands. I hate that so much. I hate everything about that. The series would have been perfect if not for the wish and time travel.
Like,
bullshit at the end of it.
It feels weird for the final threat to not be the big fuck off laser, but just like an additional army of mobile suits they send after that laser. Like, the laser didn't work. What the fuck do you think is gonna work now?
Literally. They stopped a colony laser. Do you think a gym can stop that?
Yeah! Oh shit, watch out! There's 20 Delta Pluses! Oh, okay, they're gone.
We sent... Don't worry, gang. We've sent 12 Zacrellos and a big Zaum. That'll sure put them in the ground.
Yeah. But this ending is good.
I like the ending. Right? I would have liked it a lot more had you not told me all of that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's I'm allowed to. It's my podcast.
It's your podcast. You're allowed to pick. You're allowed.
We see baby Zimbabwe, like his father's holding him. It's nice that they kind of get to meet in this like quick little moment, and like he looks back and he sees Lil Maneva. And, like, he flies off and, like, embraces her as they're, like, you know, in the soup together.
I like that Cardius gives a nod to him before he does that.
Yeah! He's like, go on, my boy.
Go on.
Get the girl.
Go get the girl.
But then this fucking kick-ass Hiroyuki Sawano-ass music starts playing as like the fucking drums hit, and like he just silently flies back and Riddy chases after him.
Yeah.
Jimmy's under my desk and like his whole foot got tangled in my power cord and he almost unplugged my laptop.
Oh my god,
Great work,
no.
buddy. That's Unicorn.
That's Unicorn, baby. Good show.
Shit's fucking
jolly
shit's
good
fucking
show.
Good goddamn show. I hope narrative
my
ends on a
God.
high note as this.
Ugh,
I don't think people like narrative as much.
doesn't.
We'll find out in like 2 weeks or so.
Yeah.
But
I've got something for you.
that's right. We have a thing.
A funny little little segment for you here. That we like to call Beyond Tomb Worlds.
That's right.
You're going to love this. Trust me. Beyond Tomorrow!
And we're doing it on Sweet Baby Bazinga himself, the Japanese voice actor of him, Koki Uchiyama, who was born in Saitama, Japan. He was born, I believe, if you give me just a moment, he was born in 1990, so he is 32 on the 16th of August.
He's like 3 years older than I am.
His first credited role was in 2003 in The Animatrix as Masa.
Fuck yeah.
After that, his next credited role was for the Japanese dub voice actor of Jake Long, American Dragon, of the titular American Dragon. After that, he's Roxas.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's also Neku Sakuraba from The World Ends With You.
What the fuck?
And then after that, he leaped from both of those straight into playing Soul Eater Evans from Soul Eater.
Oh my god!
Incredible.
Is this allowed?
Is this allowed? I don't know. He went he was in Fairy Tail. He was a character called Midnight.
Oh fuck! What the fuck?
And then a year later, he reprised his roles as Roxas and Ventus because they have the same voice. And then went on to play Banagher Lynx from Gundam Unicorn.
Hey, I know that guy.
Which is incredible because that is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is his 8th role.
God damn!
Like full stop. After that,
impressive.
he played Natsuno Yuki in a show called Shiki. I've never heard of it. Just wanted to cover any bases. He was Midnight again. Speaking of jumps, a year after playing Banagher Lynx, he went on to play a funny little character in Hunter x Hunter called Meruem.
Oh, okay.
This man does not miss. This man does not miss. He played a character called Joker in Final Fantasy Type O.
Type 0 was an interesting game to say the least.
He was in a show called Ungo, episode 0. He was Tatsuya Yamagama.
Mm-hmm.
He was a character called Kagura Demori in Aquarian Evil. I'm only mentioning this because he shows up in a Super Robot Wars game sometime.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna skip ahead to some other known roles that we'll know him from. He is Sam from The Last of Us.
Okay, all right.
He is in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. He is a character called Ikaro Hashizawa. And then you're thinking, oh, I've never heard of this guy before. He's not in JoJo. That is right. He is Bao.
He's Bao?
He's Bao in All-Star Battle.
Fuck yeah.
Which rules. He went on to play a character called Reen Schwarzer from the Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel. He then went to play Kaito Chenjo in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal.
Ah.
So you'll meet him soon. No, you won't. That's a lie. You'll see him like 2 years from now.
Yeah, in like 3 years, whatever.
He was Raku Ichijo in Nisekoi.
Okay.
He's Kei Tsukishima in Haikyuu.
He's Tsukishima? Fuck yeah!
He plays a character called Smile, also known as Makoto Tsukimoto in Ping Pong the Animation, which I've heard is amazing as well. He played a character called Clavis in Death Parade. He's constantly reprised his role as Tenjo Kaito because he was in Arc 5 as well. He plays both Tristan and Shiro Kotomine in Fate Grand Order. which I hear is a big one.
Yeah, a lot of fates out there.
Plays a funny little alien called Melzigard from One Punch Man.
I just finished reading all of One Punch Man.
It's during the Boros arc. He's one of the big aliens.
The one with all the faces.
Yeah.
That's right.
He is in My Hero Academia, Tomura Shigaraki.
Isn't he like the main bad guy?
That is the main bad guy.
He's the guy with all the hands.
Yeah.
He saw what Full Frontal did and he's like, I want a lot of hands.
I want more hands. Played a character called Brandish in Mighty Number 9.
Okay.
As you do.
Yeah, good
He
good,
played
good
a character
video game.
called Ruth in The Ancient Magus's Bride.
That's a popular one, I hear.
He was Yuri Polsetsky in Yuri on Ice.
Oh, he was the boy on ice.
He was the boy on ice. He played Ikuya Kirishima in Free Timeless Melody, The Bond and The Promise.
He gets all these sports animes.
He's once again Shiro Kotomine in Fate Apocrypha. He played Yoma Hashimoto in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: The Spoke Kashibi Rohan, which is the one.
Yes.
He's the guy where he's doing the running.
Yeah,
that one. Really cool. He was Akira Fudo in Devilman Crybaby.
Okay.
That may be my favorite role he's done, because I loved Devilman Crybaby so much. He played a character called Benedict Blue in Violet Evergarden. Played a few characters in Dragalia Lost. Once again, constantly reprising his role as Meruem, Ventus, and Roxas. He was the shinobi character in Dragon Marked for Death.
Okay.
He's V in Devil May Cry 5.
Oh, the fun with the animals in the book. Very nice.
He is Rui, which is the spider dude from Demon Slayer.
Oh, God, I fucking love that guy.
Yeah. He plays Toi Kuji in Saran Manzai, Sara Zanmai.
Stars on my.
That's the one. He is the in Pokemon Masters. He is Gladio, the Japanese voice for him.
Oh, I love fucking Dio posing little.
Love him so much.
Routine boy.
In Dragon Quest 11, I want to say XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. He is Camus.
Yes. Oh, he's Camus. Ah!
He's also credited as the Puff Puff Girl for some reason. I don't know why.
There's a lot. So Camus is Eric, who's like the main. He's like your best boy. He's like the Zorro of Dragon Quest. He's
love that for him.
He has cool hair. He has blue hair and earrings and pronouns.
Can you tell me a bit about the Puff Puff Girl?
So the Puff Puff. There's a long-running joke in Dragon Quest that you find one of the nice bunny girls hanging around, like not bunny girl, but like the bunny suit girl.
Yeah.
And the joke is the Puff Puff, and they smush your face betwixt their breasts as the screen goes black. And then at one point you find out they're just kind of rubbing slimes on your face.
That's pretty funny.
But there's always it's always a funny mishap if you get a Puff Puff, because it's always never who you think's going to give you the Puff Puff.
I don't like that.
Yeah, no, it's one of those jokes that just isn't really funny.
It's
like funny in Japan, but then it's like, oh, you think about it for more than 5 seconds, you're like, it's kind of gross, actually.
The Red Dragon Quest L.
Yeah, very rare.
In Disney's
they haven't gotten to L, they're only on 12. L's 50's a long way off, actually. Haha.
I don't... Oh, I get it. Like Roman numerals.
It's an intellectual
funny,
joke.
funny. Well, I'm not an intellectual. I want Gundam.
No, I know you're a podcaster.
So in Disney's Twisted Wonderland, he's Ida Shroud. I think that's the Hades dude. I don't know.
Okay, Hades nuts.
He's Kun Hatzling in Tower of God.
Okay.
In The God of High School, he's Ilpyo Park. I never watched God of High School, so I don't know who that is. In Genshin Impact, he's Razor.
That's probably
That's
a
the wolf
5-star
boy.
character.
Nope, he's a 4-star.
Oh, lame. Who cares?
Lame,
It's not 5-star. I'm not interested.
In Jujutsu Kaisen,
Oh, tremendous. Hit me.
Toge Inumaki.
Oh, little sushi boy.
Yeah.
Salmon Roe.
Salmon Roe. In Horimiya?
Horimiya.
In Horimiya, he is Izumi Miyamura.
Okay.
In Nia Reincarnation, he is Yuzuki Kurizome. Is that the mobile game? Or is that the...
Yeah, that's the mobile game I did not engage with. But I hear it's fine. It's near, so it's gonna be fucking weird as hell.
Yeah, of course. Once again, he reprises his role as Neku in The World Ends With You Neo.
Tremendous.
In a show that I've been meaning to watch because I've heard good things about it, Intact Op Destiny, he's the main character, Takt Asahina.
Hell yeah.
And then after that, he's just been reprising roles. He's once again going to be Bao again in All-Star Battle R. He's was once again Inumaki in Jujutsu Kaisen 0. He was a character called Akio in the Pokemon Hisuian Snow short, and that was his last credited role.
Yeah, that's a cool. It looks like a 3-part YouTube video of just like this kid who gets lost in the woods and befriends a little Hisuian Zoro. That's cute.
Oh, that's so cute. And yeah, that's it for Koki Uchiyama.
That's a fucking stacked list.
Relatively short time span of being on the voice acting scene, but this guy's talent has just pushed him to taking a lot of very, very good roles.
Yeah, he hasn't even been doing it 20 years. Holy shit.
Literally. Crazy talented guy. Wow. We've been podcasting for 2 hours.
It's been a grip. We're almost done, though. I gotta ask, though, Callie, what is that robot of the week?
Oh my god, you're putting me on the spot. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna go with Machine Dramon. Because Machine Dramon rules.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, Machine Dramon is a big old, massive, machine dragon Digimon. It is my, friend's favorite Digimon ever. It's just a cool robot dragon with like a big claw and like it's like a hand, kind of like the Rosen Zulu's like gripper like beam.
It's like a little pinchy drill hand. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a model kit of this thing. I built it with my friend. It is one of the biggest model kits I've ever seen in my entire life.
I've always wanted, like, I have a hard time wanting like the other model kits because I feel like you have to put so much like effort into them to make them look good. But like Machine Dramon, since it's just like all metal, you really don't need to do much other than like add metallic accents and it looks fucking kick ass.
The thing is about Machine Dramon is you'll see it in comparison pictures and you'll think, damn, that's big, and you'll build it and then you'll think, Jesus Christ. Like he's absolutely gargantuan. He has a very, very cool deck in the Digimon trading card game that works unlike any other deck in the game, where the point of the deck is to get as many level 5 ultimate level Digimon in the grave, and then you hard play Machine Dramon, who is a 12 cost, and put up to 5 machine or cyborg, no, it's just cyborg trait Digimon from your trash pile under him, and then you gain memory up to the amount that you put under him. So instead of costing 12, he'll cost 7, but it really depends on like how many resources you have to work with. He's huge. He's very difficult to get off the field. And with the things you put under him, he hits like a truck and you can't touch your opponent. It is a very, very cool deck belonging to a very, very cool Digimon that I personally really love.
Yeah. Oh, it's one of my favorite megas out there. It rules.
He's so sick.
Fucking rad. Fuck yeah. Well, we're closing up.
Oh man. Well, where can we find you, Max?
You can go to Twitter at MaxyBajillion to find me. You can go to Pod of Greed Cast on Twitter to listen to Pod of Greed. Is the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. We're recording actually tomorrow, as of the recording date. We're gonna finally watch Minions: Rise of Gru and record that, which is very fun.
Banger film.
It's a fun
you getting
movie.
In suits for it?
God,
you gonna dress up for it
over here?
Oh no!
I wore my Minion shirt to the theater when I saw it, and that was good enough. You can go to Slappers Only Pod on Twitter to listen to Slappers Only. Coming soon. We're working on it again. Finally. You can go. And that's it. Callie, where are you?
You can find me on twitter.com at Cowley, Cowllie. You can also find the Twitter page I still haven't set up because I'm predictable. I've got a week off next week. I'm gonna set aside one of those days and just figure out everything I need to do for that and do it. I know I said this the past 6 weeks, but I said I'd do it before the end of the podcast, but
only a couple weeks left.
My book, Other Side, you can, the Twitter page for that is at Other Side Novel. The first 3 chapters of the book are done. I'm currently working on the 4th. I will be setting it up so you'll be able to read the first 3 chapters just online See if you like it. It is a modern fantasy type deal. Very fun to write, very fun characters to imagine in this world. Set in the northeast of England as well, which doesn't get much recognition. Hope you enjoy it.
Fuck yeah. You can go to Twitter at WowCoolPodcast to find us. You can join our Discord. You can go to noisepace.xyz to find all those podcasts and many, many more. And Callie, what do we always say to close these episodes?
Well, I believe they say, war is bad.
Wow, cool robot. See you for narrative. Hope it's good.
Bye. I hope narrative lives
crossed.
up to the hype that we've built up.
Narrative Uzumaki, goodbye.
Narrative Uzumaki.